Hawks21 here, back with another Splinterlands video. So I wanted to make a quick video after seeing this post by Yuki, which, if you don't know who Yuki is, he is a fantastic Splinterlands player. I would put him in probably the top 0.1% of players. He is absolutely incredible. We share a guild. He's a great person. I've got to talk to him a little bit here and there. It's for the amount of knowledge he has about this game and how good he is. The fact that he only has 69 followers on Twitter is pretty outrageous. And he shares content some on Peak D as well. So come check his stuff out. And this got me thinking about the topic of how to find future meta cards and some of the stuff it takes to become a top level player and find some of these strategies and synergies before everyone else. But before we get into that, just want to remind you that I am Hawks21 and I cover Splinterlands here on the channel. If you have not yet subscribed, or if you are new here, it would be awesome if you could take a second to join the community and hit that subscribe button before we continue. I'll give you a second to do it. All right, amazing. Thank you so much. Let's get into it. So I'm going to come here to Yuki's Peak D post. I'm not going to go through all of the videos because I want you to come here and show his post some love to see all the videos. But I think I already liked it. Let me just make sure. Yes, I did. Okay, great. Okay, so he basically made a post here on the Shaman that I saw, and then I immediately went and bought up some of these cards so I could test it for myself. This is a card that's got clowned a lot, right? And if we go to Peak Monsters and go to Rift Watchers and go to Rare, it's the cheap. Oh wow, it's actually jumped up in price. So it's the cheapest rare by a decent amount. It used to be around 20 cents. I bought this when the article came out. Yeah, I bought this for 21 cents. So it's jumped 50%. I guess since this article came out. So I highly suggest following Yuki for that reason. I mean, I also bought a decent amount of them, so maybe I was partly responsible. But no, look, I guess I got up to 250s. I got a couple right at 20 cents. I was buying a lot of these. But anyways, let's get back to the article. Kind of got clowned a lot, right? People don't like recharge monsters. It's kind of slow. 8 mana is not cheap for what this is bringing. And it's kind of got thrown to the side and no one paid attention to it. But Yuki, one thing I want to point out, if you come and watch these battles, again, come here, play the battles, show Yuki some love. This battle doesn't involve Yuki. This battle doesn't involve Yuki. This battle doesn't. This battle doesn't. This battle doesn't. This battle doesn't. This one does, right? But then if we come here, this battle doesn't. This battle doesn't. So what Yuki is doing is he's identified some top players, or he's taking the time to find matches where the Shaman's being played, and he's analyzing, right? He's looking to see who some of these champion high-level players, what they're playing. What are some of the strategies they're running? And at some point, he picked up that this 2-day Shaman was being used in some of these matches very successfully. And those are the types of things you need to take notice of if you want to build a deck, a cost-efficient and a cost-effective deck. We've talked a lot on this channel about not buying the meta cards for a couple reasons. One, because they're super expensive. So if you're trying to build out a well-rounded deck, if you have a limited budget, you don't want to sink a ton of your funds into one strategy, right, involving some really high-priced cards, because a lot of times you're not going to be able to play that strategy. And the other reason is because a lot of times the most OP strategies get nerfed by the devs. Or we see some more counters be brought into the game. We've seen a bunch of Yoden counters, right? Some of the taunt strategies with Shield Bearer, there's now more and more counters for that. So you could be stuck paying up for a really expensive meta card, and then all of a sudden they put out this new ability that, really hurts the effectiveness of said card. And then the card falls in value, or at least won't increase in value, right? And it's pretty easy for people to say, oh, just go find the really great cheap cards, because there's not a lot of them. But this is one of the scenarios where Yuki did exactly that. And it took a bunch of research and a bunch of sort of diligent battle watching and analyzing what some of the best players are doing. And it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, right? I'm not going to sit here and say don't buy good cards, because again, you need to win in order to earn. But whenever you can, spend some time searching, looking, watching some battles from some of the best players and see what cards they're playing. And even if you're at a lower level, right, like all of these battles here that you're going to see are going to be at the highest of levels. That's where Yuki plays, so that's where he's looking for. That's where he's looking for strategies and tips. Picking up some of the cards at the higher level people play that are really cheap will give you the option for, potential capital appreciation. But two, if you work your way up eventually to those leagues, you'll already have some of these cards, right? You won't have to rush out and, buy these new meta cards when potentially, we just saw the price of these has increased from here to they were about 30 cents, so up by 50%. So I went out, as you can see, and bought it, and I wanted to show you a couple battles. I'm really liking this card. It goes really well with Obsidian, and we're going to walk through these. So, we got Rise of the Commons. That's another thing. It's a common card, and so being able to do a ton of damage is, for a common card in some games like this, is massively beneficial. So here's a couple things to notice. I'm sure you guys have been in battles like this, if you guys are playing at the highest level. Slipspawn at the back versus Slipspawn at the back. Now, the big difference is, with the force field, right, we both have a couple monsters that aren't going to be doing enough damage to Slipspawn, right? My Dampier is only going to be doing 1 because of the force field. And to be honest, right, I put Unicorn Mustang in the second position because I was expecting magic. I just don't have that much damage going to Slipspawn here. But luckily, with Recharge, as I think I've explained before, Force Field works on the stated number. So it works on the 3 here. So Force Field doesn't trigger. And then the Recharge multiplier comes into effect. So you'll see that. And how this match is basically won for me is I'm able to eliminate the Slipspawn largely because of a Recharge attack where it takes them a lot longer to get through here. So we'll just play it. This is going a little faster than the 2 normally does. There we go. So yeah, we just got the Retaliates back. They can only do 1 damage because of the force field. I did bring some triages, which was nice. I can only do 1 damage there. Now you'll see here, you just got the ready. Now watch for him to attack. I don't know who's gonna go first here. But whenever, yeah, here he goes, 9. So I'm able to immediately wipe out the Slipspawn. And once I get that advantage because of that massive attack, it's basically just over, right? They're still dealing with my Slipspawn in the back. And even though I still have to now charge up and my Shaman isn't really doing much, I've already gotten out to too far of a lead here. And all I needed was that 1 attack, that 1 big damage attack to get rid of their taunt. And I can, now coast to a victory. speed this up. You know, we kind of have a big lead here, but we'll play it out to the end. And the Shaman ends it on a 12 damage. So yeah, that one big time damage can completely shift a match. Let's go to the second one here. So now we know how awful going up against Mylor is when you don't have Mylor. You can't bring, melee attacks really. And so you would think a lot of times when people play Mylor, they're going to put magic defense or something up front, whether it be this unicorn or in a little lower mana, you might get the failed summoner or maybe the Zenith Monk, just something that combats magic damage because the Mylor player knows if you bring melee, it's over anyways. So let's try to focus on the other things. Similar to the idea of the Shaman eliminating or not being triggering the force field, the same thing happens with Magic Reflect. The magic that gets reflected back isn't based on the recharge value of 9, right? So 5 isn't being reflected back. It's based on the 3. So only 2 gets reflected back. So there's a disproportionate measure of damage being done with the Shaman than is being reflected back. So when you're expecting Magic Reflect, a lot of times you're going to be able to do a ton of damage to that Magic Reflect monster without having to worry about a fair amount of damage coming back. And you can maybe get rid of that Magic Reflect monster before it does a ton of damage to your other magic monsters who don't have recharge. A couple other things to notice in this match, right? Queen Mycelia is very annoying, specifically with Mylor, because brings the shield, keeps you from having shield. I'm not bringing any shield here. However, Sude Shaman has Rust. It is perfect to toss out against the Queen Mycelia, right? This shield that they're bringing is just going to be rusted away by the Shaman. And then lastly, you'll see at the end how amazing the combination of recharge and giant killer can be. Now, after you watch this battle and after you finish this video, well, first, I hope you end up liking and subscribing. But second, go watch Yuki's battles because you'll see the giant killer come into play more. I just wanted to show some of these and my experiences with them. And I want you to go show Yuki some love on his post so we can get some hive for it. All right, let's get into it. So again, I normally struggle going with Mylor, so I figured, why not try this out? Yep, and because of the thorns, there goes my main tank. That unicorn's very annoying. I can't remember. We do get the affliction, which is great. We actually don't even have to deal with the unicorn. And we're going to see some giant killer here, right? Does 18 damage. I'm gonna go back for a second. No, it was getting a little glitchy. You'll just see this 18 damage number. That's gonna wipe out anyone, right? I know we had already done some damage, but if that was a full health 13, getting that 18 would have completely eliminated that monster. Continue our way through. And luckily I brought Almo, which also helped me here. So I don't really think I was a threat at losing this match. I just wanted to show some of the mechanics that can be played. But you'll see a really fun thing at the end here. Once we get through the damp here. So, we have Big Bad Kron, right? Watch what happens after this magic attack, right? So 18 health, or 15 health, 24 damage. So it has the 4 magic with recharge, which multiplied by 3 does 12. And then the giant killer doubles the 12 to 24. So we're gonna watch that one more time. I've never done this that much damage before. So if Kron's got you down, one easy way to do it, 24. Bang. So yeah, very powerful card, very, very cheap, right? That's the big thing, is it's the cheapest rare Rift Watcher still, even after that 50% boost. So yeah, I'm glad I got to show you some videos with it. I was playing with it today. Just a couple battles and wanted to show those too. But this is the stuff you got to think about. This is the stuff you got to try. You know, if you want to find cards, you can start by renting them, right? Like you could have gone out and rented a Shaman for 2 days, played it a bunch, and see if, you know, it could be a good addition to your deck if you think it's undervalued, if you think it's underappreciated. I certainly am starting to think that the Shaman's underappreciated, which is why I made this video. And shout out to Yuki for writing that article, sort of inspiring the whole thing. I'll talk to you soon in the guild. I really appreciate your work. Everyone go check out that article from Yuki. Give it some upvotes. He's earned the hive. And then give him a follow on Twitter. He definitely deserves that as well. So I hope you're enjoying Splinterlands. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.